I think so. I got 5 teams going into the season that I believe are under the most pressure in the entire NBA. At number 5, if you don't know us already, I've got my guy himself, Portland Trailblazers. This is Damian Lillard, super fan over here. I think the Portland Trailblazers are under the 5th most pressure of any team in the NBA this season. Just because all the Dame narrative talk, all the Dame one needs to get out, Dame needs to be traded. All that's going to do if they once again lose in the first round or have a first round type of exit kind of season where they do the same thing they've done for the last season, the season before, it's going to pick back up again next summer. It's just going to happen again, and I think it's becoming a point where it's like the Trailblazers obviously aren't going to trade Damian Lillard unless he requests to be traded. It's just not going to happen. But unless they're content, which it seems like they might be, with just throughout Dame's prime, just putting Dame on the floor, giving the fans entertainment, but consistently losing early in the playoffs, something's got to give. You've had arguably not arguably, one of the greatest point guard talents of this generation, and nothing to show for it. So I think there's pressure on them just because I think you need to get out of the first round. I really do. And for Dame, it's like, I don't know. Is this? I think this could actually possibly be it. I think if this season doesn't go well, I know he said he's a little too slow. He doesn't want to run from the grind. I just think that's a tough. That's a team that's kind of in no man's land. I think there's a ton of pressure on them to do something this season. And there could be some potential changes, or at least thoughts of changes in Portland. Fourth, I'm going to go with the Philadelphia 76ers. We all know what's going on with the Ben Simmons situation, and that alone is a ton of pressure. Is Ben going to see the full season? It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like they'll be playing with Ben Simmons. But at the same time, I know we've heard some trade packages potentially. They're in a similar situation in terms of Joel Embiid's in his prime right now. I believe he's 27, 28, and he's a big man who's had history of injuries. So it's not like Embiid's going to be playing probably at a high level until 35, 36. He's a guy that you might only have 3, 4, maybe 5 more years with. And can you afford to waste that? Can you afford to say, okay, this season, since we either don't have Ben Simmons on the floor, or we might not get a package for him, who knows when that'll happen, they won't be a contending team anymore? Because then you're almost wasting a prime Joel Embiid season. And I think that alone, mixed with the combination of what Ben Simmons has going on, is immense pressure for 76ers. So I think there's the 4th most pressure on any team on Philly. At 3, I've got the New Orleans Pelicans. There is no excuse this season. There is no reason why the Pelicans should not make the playoffs. You've got 2 considered young all-star caliber players in Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram. And you haven't made it yet. I think they've got to at least make the playoffs, because I know we heard those murmurs last season. I don't know how true they were. We don't know how true they were of Zion being unhappy there already. I know that could have just been family. I think reports were it was coming from his family.
Yeah, his family.
But you've got a star who is reportedly, maybe true, maybe not true, already somewhat unhappy, and you haven't made the playoffs yet, which that roster, they should be competing. I'm not going to say they should make it, but you've got 2 stars, like I said. You should be at least in the mention. They should for sure be in the playing game, and you've got 2 guys like that. You've got to be
Probably
ready.
better than that.
Yeah.
Probably better than the playing game. Probably about a 6, 7 seed.
That's what I'm saying. So I think there's got to be some kind of traction, or it gets bigger picture. It almost gets to, I forget, GM that's Cleveland.
Yeah, I know David, forgot his last name.
But it almost gets up to him. You've made the coaching change now, and if you still don't see the playoffs,
David Griffin.
David Griffin. So I think they're a team that's under a lot of pressure going into this season. And then I think the final 2 are obvious. I've got the Los Angeles Lakers second, just because.
That's a surprise. It's a very big surprise.
Really?
Yes, that is a very big surprise.
Look, anytime LeBron James comes with expectations.
Obviously.
Championship expectations, and you add Russell Westbrook to that, obviously.
Tony
like I
Goat,
said,
of course.
he is the GOAT.
Tony Goat.
No, we're not. No, he's the greatest player to ever play the game. So I think there is the second most pressure on the Lakers in the NBA for obvious reasons. They're the second favorite behind the Brooklyn Nets, who I have as the most pressure in the NBA. Everyone's saying, we just talked about it right now, if they don't get hurt, they probably win the title last year, which I think is a fair statement. Yeah. If they're healthy, 100%. They win the title last year. They didn't. They still, KD and James Harden. James Harden doesn't have a ring at all. KD still wants to get his ring in Brooklyn. And Kyrie, well, Kyrie's there, as we believe. We got to go.
Well, he's there for now.
He's there for now. He's there for now,
It
and he's there
depends
for
what-
half the games.
Yeah, it depends what he's there for.
So I've got the Brooklyn Nets as the team under the most pressure going into this NBA season. So from 5-1, the Portland Trailblazers, Philadelphia 76ers, New Orleans Pelicans, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Brooklyn Nets.
That is actually a very interesting list. We only have two similarities right there.
Really?
Really. I didn't go with the big names. I didn't go with the Lakers or the Nets. They're not in my top 5 in this. Right now, I did like what you said about the Pelicans. For me, I have them 4th on my list. They're sitting at 4th on my list. Look, he said everything that needed to be said. This is it. Brandon Ingram, Zion, those two are all-star caliber guys. They can probably average both over 20 points a game. There's no reason they shouldn't be a top 8 team in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
There's no absolutely reason why. So this is make or break, and I think Zion, I mean, he might want to leave. I think his parents put it out there because he wants it out there.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to say it himself, so obviously that causes more drama. Now, if his parents say it's his parents. You know, they're trying to look out for him.
And you always hear anything that comes from family
Yeah,
came from the stars.
exactly. So look, he wanted it out there. He wanted to make sure that everyone knows, hey, I don't want to be here anymore.
I'm not happy.
I'm not happy. It doesn't really help that you're trying to build a team around me. You're not doing a good job of it. So I have them at my number 4 spot.
Okay.
But my number 5 spot is a big market team who might be back, and that's New York Knicks. The New York Knicks are the most watched team. I know that on face, because here's the thing. They think they have something brewing there. They have Kemba Walker, they have Derrick Rose, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett. They're under the most pressure, in my opinion, because they need to. Because this is a statement year for them. It's going to depend on how they do this season. If they finally get over that hump, make the playoffs, win a playoff series, can they do it? This is a very important season for that owner, for that organization. If they want to strive towards becoming a title contending team again, this is the year. This is the year to make it or break it for them with the New York Knicks. All right, so obviously I have 5 the Knicks, 4 the Pelicans, 3. My 3. The Denver Nuggets.
Okay.
They are under the most pressure this year. Obviously, you can be like, whoa, what are you talking about? Jamal Murray's coming back. They're going to be fine. But listen, you just paid Michael Porter Jr.
A lot of money.
A lot of money. You paid him like almost superstar money. So I should get some superstar numbers, some superstar play. This is it. You have all the ingredients right there. You have the team. You have Jamal Murray, Michael Porter, Aaron Gordon, Jokic. You have the coach. You have the front office. You have the team.
You do.
We always talk about, a little down the line, numbers are to be a force to be reckoned with. But guess what?
The time is now.
We're down the line. This is it. This is it right here. Are you that team that we all think you are? Are you going to be that team that finally gets over the hump and wins the title? All right? You don't have to. Obviously, obviously, everyone wants to win it. But you got to be in the conference finals or in the finals. You know, this is the year. This is it. Jamal Murray's coming back. And obviously, it's an ACL. But he probably won't be the same as aggressive and athletic as he was. But he's still a good shooter. He shot over 90% from the line. He shot nearly 40% from 3. Like, his shot's still going to be there. So, to me, this is make or break for the Nuggets. Like, you got to know, you did not just pay this man that much money to give you, like, a 15 points a game.
No.
And to be a role player.
Michael Porter, given that contract, he has to break out. He also has to play defense. He hasn't shown up in defense.
Exactly.
Yet.
Yes.
So I agree with
You
that.
have to be a playmaker. You're going to have – Michael Porter Jr. is going to be an MVP type player because he's getting paid that way. So,
I
this
believe,
is it.
what is it? What are the only guys making as much as Michael Porter are Rudy Gobert, Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry. It's a short list of 5 guys. But he's one of 6 guys making that much
And
money.
guess what? All those are all-stars.
Superstars.
Superstar.
Yeah. We're not going to, Russ is friend, but yeah.
But they're all-stars. Period. Everyone agrees they're all-stars. So, to me, they're on the most watched. Because after watching that, I'm like, this is it. This is the year for them. And obviously, at number 2, I have the Sixers. All right? Obviously, the Ben Simmons, all the trade packages, what are they going to do? And to me, it seems like they're building a lot of youth around Joel Embiid. They got Maxey, Thibault, Shake Milton, Seth Curry. Now, and apparently all these trade packages we just saw recently is with Malcolm Brogdon and Karis LeVert, another couple young guys. So obviously it's going to depend on what they do with Ben Simmons moving forward, and also Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
Is Doc the guy? Because we all thought he was the guy at LA, and then look what happened. They're better without him than they were with him. All right, and Philly. He makes no coaching adjustments. He trusts his system fully, and if it doesn't work, he's like, it's gonna work 4 out of 7 times. That's his mentality. And guess what? It just doesn't work. So, and also Daryl Morey, what are you doing, dude? All right, you thought you had a team last year. You clearly do not. You're probably not even a top 4 team right now. So you need to figure out what you need to do to make sure that your team moving forward is a title contending team as well. And then my number one, which I'm very surprised.